Hi Rose! Today's video is going to be the Disneyland Paris tag made by the lovely Ellie, whose videos you've probably already seen. I'm going to get straight in with it because the wind's been all dramatic and whistling through the hall and yeah, it's dead noisy, so yeah. So the first question is, when was your first trip and how many times have you been? My first trip was in August of 2012 and it was for my 21st birthday. I went with my boyfriend Craig. We went to Paris itself and then spent one day in Disneyland for my birthday. And that was kind of like what re-kickstarted my Disney obsession. That trip is what made me really fall in love all over again really with Disney, and it's what made me like want to apply to go work in Walt Disney World, which again made me even more completely obsessed. So I kind of think of that first trip to Disneyland Paris as quite special because it's really influenced my love for Disney and it's really drove me to be completely obsessed with it, I guess. I have been to Disneyland Paris 3 times now. Yeah, I've been 3 times and I'm going again in less than 2 weeks. I'm also an annual pass holder now and I have a few trips kind of on the horizon for this year, so fingers crossed. Question number 2 is, what Disney hotels have you stayed in and what's one that you haven't stayed in that you would like to? I've only stayed in one Disney hotel in Disneyland Paris, which is the Santa Fe. I will be staying at Sequoia Lodge in 10 days, 9 days now. I think the hotel I'd most want to stay in is probably the Disneyland Hotel because have you seen it? It's so beautiful, but I would like to stay in the Hotel New York as well. Hopefully I'll get to stay in all of them over the next few years. Number 3, what is your favourite restaurant? Again, I haven't eaten in many of the restaurants, but I really enjoyed Inventions when I went last time. I did the Inventions Sunday brunch, but it was just so expensive. I also really enjoyed the steakhouse. The sweet corn soup was like best soup I have ever had in my whole life. The food was so good and it wasn't that expensive as well. So yeah, up to now, Inventions and the steakhouse. I will be in a few more restaurants this upcoming trip. I'm kind of like working my way around them all. Number 4, a restaurant you'd like to eat in that you haven't yet. Probably Blue Lagoon. I'd really like to eat in Blue Lagoon, plus the food looks really, well, I say the food looks really good. There's like 1 or 2 vegetarian, vegan options, but I don't know, just I like that kind of food. Plus it's like on the ride as well, you get to wave at the people. Like, I will probably spend like the first half an hour of being in there just waving at every single boat that goes past. Throw us a bread roll! Kudos if you get that reference. I'd also like to eat at Bistro Chez Remy because the vegetarian vegan option looks so good. It's got tofu on it and I adore tofu. Plus Ratatouille is one of my favourite Pixar films, so it just looks really good from all the pictures and I've heard really good things about it. Hopefully I'll get to eat at them too on my next trip. Your favourite quick service fast food? I generally always go to Bella Norte because pizza's always the safe option really. I won't be able to eat that now, but apparently they do a vegan pasta, so I'm going to be looking forward to going there and trying it. As for everywhere else, I like to go into Hakuna Matatas not to eat, but to just have a sit down and a hot chocolate, or to have a sit down and have a cup of tea. Generally I just like the old ambience and the atmosphere there, even though the food isn't my kind of thing because it's basically meat. Oh, does Earl of Sandwich count? Because Earl of Sandwich is like my favourite place to eat in the whole world. Every time I go to Disney I have to get an Earl of Sandwich. Although I won't be able to get my usual this time because no cheese, but I'm hoping to try the Mediterranean vegetable one, so we'll see. Question number 6, what is your favourite shop? My favourite shops, probably the Emporium obviously, and Harrington's I guess on Main Street, just because they've got all the pretty ornaments and jewellery and all the collectibles and the art and things like that. But yeah, probably them two. Definitely Emporium. I always walk through Emporium on the way out of the park or when I'm heading up to the top of Main Street. Number 7, your favourite season or event? I've only been to Disneyland Paris during the Christmas season. I've never been during like Halloween and spring. Hopefully that's going to change this year. But for now, I'd have to say Christmas because I've been there for Christmas and I absolutely loved it. It was so beautiful. Just Main Street with all the lights and the Christmas tree, the parades, just everything. Christmas is my favourite time of year, so it'd probably still be Christmas, even if I did experience the other seasons. Disneyland Paris or Walt Disney Studios? Definitely Disneyland Paris. I'm not that big of a fan of Walt Disney Studios. I like some of the rides there, but I think it just feels unfinished. It just needs that little something. It just needs a little bit more love and attention to make it up to standard. But Disneyland Paris is absolutely beautiful. Like the park is just, the castle is probably one of my favourite Disney castles, if not my absolute favourite Disney castle. So definitely Disneyland Park. Your favourite character meet? If we're going off past meets, then I'd probably have to say when I met Aurora in the Princess Pavilion last time. We just had this proper little chat, and I was talking about how she's my favourite princess and I love her story, and she was just so lovely. So that'd be one of my favourite Disneyland Paris meets in general. My favourite character to meet every time I go is probably Donald, because he's just so adorable, and I always tend to go in winter, so I've always got my Donald Duck hat on, I've always got my Donald Duck shoes on, so I'm always just like, Donald! Look at this! And he gets all excited, and it's just dead cute, and I just love my interactions with him. The Queen of Hearts is also a good one as well, because she kind of just wanders around all sassy like and just stands behind people, and it's just awesome. Oh, that kind of ties in with the next question, which was your best character meet and greet experience. So yeah, them two questions are linked. My best experience was Aurora last time I went, and my favourite character to meet in general is probably Donald. Question number 13, your happiest or best Disneyland Paris moment? One that I can remember is when I went in November with my mum, and the first time we walked into the Disneyland Park and walked down Main Street, like I just felt really emotional and really happy, because there was so much going on in my life right then. I was moving house, looking for a transfer with work, trying to save money, all different things like that, and I know I just felt like I was home, and I just felt really happy and so thankful to be there, and I felt like I really needed that trip. Even though there wasn't anything bad going on in my life, it was just a bit stressful, so I know I just kind of needed that little break, and just walking down Main Street, seeing all the Christmas lights, seeing the Christmas tree, seeing the castle all lit up and sparkling was just absolutely perfect, and I just felt so emotional and happy. That's probably one of my favourite memories that I can think of off the top of my head. Another one is during one of the parades as well, when I went with Rachel back in February, because I was wearing my Donald Duck hat and we were waving at characters on the parade, and the whole of the parade we got so much attention from the characters. Characters were waving at us, blowing kisses, coming over and hugging us. A great moment was when I was waving at Donald and he turned around and he saw my Donald Duck hat and he was like pointing at me, and he walked the length of the float. You know, it's got like the little bridge where Chip and Dale usually stand. He was standing there and he walked like the length of the float to wave at me and blow kisses, and he was doing his little dance like this, and it was just so cute, and I was so happy afterwards. I was just like, oh, so adorable. Love it. I love it when you get so much attention from characters in the parades, because I'm just like, mwah, all the time. Anyway, that was my Disneyland Paris tag. Thank you for watching. If any of you want to do this tag, feel free, go for it. And thanks to Ellie for creating it. So yeah, got nothing else to say. Bye. Mwah. Shines in the night for